Hello, my name is Zhatelier and welcome back to another episode of Valhalla Vanguard in Aurora Forex. And in previous episode, well, I did say that I was going to skip a little bit, and we have gone about, I think, 1.5 years. Nothing too drastic has happened. We've been building a little bit more ships and so forth. I don't think the Church of Sword decided to try to get across the jump point anymore, but it's been a little while since I recorded the previous episode. I don't remember exactly. Also, we have started doing a little bit of research on Mimir, although Mimir is having a bit of a problem with the lack of workers right now. We're trying to work on that, but it's going to take a while. It currently has a worker shortage of over 4 million, considering that the total population is only 1.1 million. It's quite substantial. So the research is not happening all that well here, but it's still happening. Then Njord has reached over 10 million population now, which is good. And then we do have 2 colonies over here that are mostly here for civilian trading purposes, but that was something that we did already before. And then we've done a little bit of research. We just got the active crown sensors in 21, which is now what we're going to do, is we're going to design the new ones. And I think we're going to go with the size 5 sensor for the resolution 100. It's going to give us a range of 115 million kilometers, which should be plenty. So we'll create one of those, then we'll probably create one of size 100 as well. It's gonna give quite a bit more range. There's gonna be, not for every ship, but a certain ship that we'll go through eventually, either in this or next episode, that I have kind of outlined already what I want it to be. So we'll create that, then go back down to size 2 and resolution 1. So that's going to give us 500,000 kilometers for the size 6 missiles or smaller, which should be good enough to actually be able to shoot down the invader missiles once we actually start fighting them. But we still got 14 years before that, and hopefully happens. So we'll create that one. Then I think we're going to go with the size 0.5. It's not going to be very huge, to be fair. Is that? You know what, let's go with size 1 instead. Again, it's a bit small, but it might be enough. But yeah, we'll do that. Then one thing that I might want to do is to do the EM detection sensors. We can go with the size 2.5, because that's what we'd be using before a little bit. At least on spikes we've used these. We'll create that. It's going to give it a little bit extra, and then similar with the thermal sensors. The strength is not the same, of course, but it is still improvement to what we had before. Right, is there still something that I'm missing? Probably. Well, I think we can get started with those. That was the wrong button, I'm afraid. Right, and sensor fire control. Okay, so we got the railgun beam or point defense beam fire controls, and we'll go soon through why we have that. I'll quickly add in the sensor research here. We'll queue up that one and that one, maybe that one as well. I'll get the passives first before we get the big active. Right, so now that we got that, let's go quickly through the... Since I have done a fair bit of designing ships now in between the episodes here, I've outlined quite a few ships. Right, so Athean 2 is going to get the better sensors, and then it's ready to be produced, I think. I mean, it's going to have a bit extra maintenance life than what it actually needs, but that's probably not the worst thing to have. I'd rather not have the stuff break down too easily. And we have gotten the big engines there, which means that the ATN2 will have over 2.5 times the fuel efficiency compared to ATN1, which is quite an improvement, especially considering how much we are lacking in fuel. Then we have Autumn class Scout Destroyer, which is going to have a little bit of missiles, but main point of it is going to be the eyes for all extra long eyes for the patrols. Well, not necessarily even for patrols, but you know, have a long range so that it can potentially guide fighters to their target, and maybe, since we'll go through that in a bit, but some fighters may need to work as point defense, so it should help them in that as well. And the fighter base is always hell. It only has some hangar deck capacity for 10 fighters. We've got the, well, Fisherman is not new. Halvar is a mine layer ship, which is actually not as big as it needs to be. It's going to be about 10,000 again. So it's and it's going to have only the size 6 missile launchers most likely. Although we can actually improve the missile launch. No, we can't yet. We don't have the improved size 6 launchers yet. I have researched the reload speed 5, but we haven't actually researched that because we're researching that in Mimir, so it's going to take a while before it's ready, but eventually we'll have the better launchers as well. So this is going to be basically laying down some defenses. And we got the Jody class cruisers and the jump cruisers. Both are going to be about 15,000 tons. And the jump cruiser will have the jump drives, the other one does not. And currently they have spinal mounts and a fair bit of regular lasers. It's going to have a speed of 8,000 kilometers per second, which again is not huge against especially something like precursors or invaders. Invaders are probably a lot faster, so you won't be able to catch up with them, but they should be able to breach the jump points, for example to Lodur, which is where the NPRs are. So we should be able to breach that and drive the enemy away. It has a decent defenses, so it can take a little bit beating, not to mention it can jump in groups of 4 basically, which should be enough firepower to take out some of the smaller ships there. And the whole idea is just to clear out the jump point area so that our missile destroyers can get in without being harassed, and then we can destroy all the ships there. So that's the idea of that ship. I have outlined that before. Then we got the Collier, we haven't actually done anything for this lately, and it's also a supply ship. Then we got Kazoo Raptor, which is basically a railgun fighter. It's going to be kind of an escort fighter for dropships and the Messin fighters, and basically just shoots down missiles if it can. Hopefully it can. It doesn't have a huge range, but it doesn't need to have a huge range anyway. And we've done a little bit of redesigning on some of these Gnars, but nothing too drastic. I'm not gonna go through those. Then we've got the mortar class dropship carrier, which is still a bit under work. It might not be quite good enough yet. It was supposed to have 5 dropships, but I had to drop it to 4. Simply because if I want to keep it at 10,000 tons, if I make it bigger, then I can easily fit all that. But to have it have some engineering and all that, it's kind of a challenge. But we'll see how we'll do that, but it's not really a priority right now. And then we got the dropship, Nanaya class. It has some armor rating and all that. It can drop 1 company. And it has the same speed as all the other fighters, so it should be able to go with a fighter escort group to the enemy ships and hopefully capture them. It does have fairly large armor. It does have some engineering spaces. Not that we necessarily need it. Another thing that I might do is have a fighter with some sensors, so it's basically the squadron leader, basically. Not necessarily any weaponry, but strong enough armor and the sensors so that it can be the eyes for everyone if they are beyond the range of our own active sensors. Then we got Paracamelia, which hasn't actually been done yet, but it's the idea is to be kind of a sneaky ship, some cloaking technology and very low thermal engines, and then some microwave or high-powered microwave. So the idea is that it sneaks in close to the enemy, destroys their sensors to make them blind, and then the fighters can get in and do their damage and boarding parties and all that. It's you could think it as throwing sand to the enemy's face or something like that. That's the basic idea. It's going to be fairly small, as small as I can do. I'm going to aim about 5,000 kilotons, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. And of course we got the carrier, which is still pretty much the same as it used to be. There's still a little bit of room here, but I'm probably not going to be doing too much on that. Then we got a Cetham class orbital weapon platform, which is basically just hexagonal railguns on a platform that doesn't move. It does still have the tracking speed of 4,000 kilometers per second, because that's the racial minimum, basically. And hey, it works. The tracking speed of the current Beam 5 control is actually a bit too much, which is why we are getting a smaller one. And it doesn't have a huge armor rating or anything like that, but it's going to be dirt cheap. And it does have a fair bit of firepower, so it's something that we can then easily build. It just needs to be on an orbit with some maintenance facilities in there, but since it only size 1,000 tons, it's not too bad. And then, well, the spikes we've already gone through multiple times. There's not too much different on the next iteration of Spike 2, so it's... I can potentially make the launchers a bit quicker, to be fair. That reminds me. No, we've already switched out the launchers. We're just waiting for the better size 6 launchers, I believe. Which is going to be 3600. And then Ansungs we've already started building now. So it's the 1 meson per ship. And has a range of 1 billion kilometers. And that's about it. It doesn't have armor or anything like that, so it's fairly cheap to make. 125 build points per fighter, but that's mostly what we've done there. Now we're currently doing some maintenance on some of the spikes, so we're actually going to jump forward a little bit, because once we're done with that, we're going to go into Muninn. Tuck 2 has completed orders. Oh right, Tuck 2 was getting some of the whalers, wasn't they? Probably. There would be another fisherman there. Well, I think that one has been reserved by the other tug, so we don't need to touch that. But if we have a look at the Patrol 2 right now real quick, once we're done with the overhauls, which shouldn't take too long, we can then take this group, first go refuel at the whalers, for example, and then go to the Muninn jump point, divide this into 4 separate groups, so that each group has 2 Athenians and 1 spike, and then all of them will squadron transit over, and then, since we do the squadron transit, we will not have as long of a jump shock. So the enemy will get maybe 1 salvo per ship. We know that they have 2 ships there, so it's not going to be easy. We'll probably take a little bit damage. There's only going to be 1 set of hits, most likely, and then we'll regroup in the other side, or once we reach the other side, we'll regroup so that the Asians can probably protect the spikes while the spikes then start shooting their salvos, and we should be able to destroy the precursors. At least that's the idea. If it fails, then it fails. But let's keep on going so that we can actually get that done. Because we have used a fair bit of this episode already. Let's see, more minerals located on Mimir. Oh right, let's actually quickly show the map. So we have another Mimir here, it's the system, and I've also added some labels here so that the NPRs, there's the precursors over there, and this is kind of the core world section here. Also, I did, out of curiosity, do a bit of calculating of the minerals in Siofan. And if we quickly make this larger, just for a quick moment, so I did a bit of a calculating, and there's about 1.2 billion tons of resources there. The accessibility is only 0.2, roughly speaking, so it's not quick to mine, but there is a lot of minerals in there. So that's it's a fairly good system, to be completely honest here. Right, did we... No, we didn't do the overhaul yet. We did build another ship. We got another colony ship. And we got some mineral shortages for ground unit trading and all that. We did get the railgun beam fire control, so let's actually quickly fix that. So, see them? Where are you? There you are. We'll get rid of this fire control and we'll put in the this one, so that it actually saves us a little bit room, so we can technically put in a bit extra armor or something. At least that much. Actually, I wonder if we put in that... no. I don't think it's going to be enough. We'll go with 3 and we'll actually increase the deployment time to not 12 but 1. So that's going to be completely even. I know it's a bit better. It's also... it might be slightly more expensive, actually. But it's not a huge difference. Anyway, let's continue on. And we did actually get another T-Spray tracking station on Mimir, by the looks of it. Well, I should have probably given the colony ship some orders, but... Oh, and apparently the Unity thingy, Jigua's Unity, as building more ships, so we're getting information about those. Or at least we get the transporters from those. Right, so we know... Oh, we got another automated mine on Mimir, excellent. And on Outguard we've done a quick geosurvey, so what I'm gonna do... Hold on, which one was it? 8 Moon 1. So this one. Also disband that team. Not gonna set up anything else here, just since we are mostly trying to get through this as soon as possible so we can get into battle. Oh, jump point found on Aesir. Oh, fair enough. We have no idea where that leads, but that's fine. We'll take a little bit smaller jumps here. Now, we have completed overhaul, excellent. Another geosurvey has been completed on Outguard, Outguard A2. So this one. We can disband that team. And unfortunately we didn't find any more resources there. But now let's jump back to Mir, just so that we can keep on track of things a little bit better. And then we need to select the patrol too. We'll go to the whaler fleet. You're gonna refuel. I'm gonna move to the Muninn jump point, and once you've gotten there, we'll give you new orders. But it should be fairly quick. Insufficient fuel. Okay, so how much fuel are you now missing? Is the question. Not much. Not much at all. That should be plenty for a fight. Now, I do recognize that some of the task force training is rather low on these ships. But at least the point defense ships have them very high, so we should be able to shoot down the missiles at least, if nothing else. Okay, located more minerals on Mimir. Not too bad. Okay, Patrol 2 has arrived there. Now, there might be a quicker way to do this, but I don't know what it would be. I'm going to detach this one. No, actually not those two. Take these two here. That's the wrong patrol. Right, so... just getting all these ships separated. This may take a few moments. Actually, not those two. Not that it actually matters, but... Right. Now that we got all of these, we'll do the squadron transit. So that would be transit and divide fleet, but that's not what we want. So the squad transit. And, oh right, the Patrol 2 is the main one. Right, now is the moment of truth. Will we be able to fight off the Precursor? Okay, we've found the hostile contacts, that's for sure. Also renamed them to Precursors, or at least gave the suffix as Pre, so that we know a little bit better. We're kind of all around them, which is good to know, I suppose. But now they won't be able to shoot everyone at once, I hope. Right, I'll give the orders for the other two to join the Patrol 2 again. There we go. Now, since we... Can we actually... Oh, actually our sensors do work. What would that mean? Let's see, Patrol 1, Spike. No contacts, so the sensors are not actually working yet. From what I can tell. Now we do have all the missiles set up, at least for this one. Just gonna go through all of these. Okay, this one does not. It has a bit different missiles altogether. Assign that one there. And those, then assign these. So this may take a few moments. I could actually... Well, yeah, actually I could do that. So... just copy system, so it should have now all the same, it just has a bit different missiles. That's fine, we can quickly fix that. Is there anything else? The iron missiles are still the same, and the iron anti-missile missiles are the same. And over here we need to do the same. There we go. Right, I think that's actually probably all we needed to do. I'm going to quickly check these. Are they are in point blank mode. Excellent. Okay, let's take a 5-second increment. Active sensor detected. Now, can we, just gonna make sure, can we actually start firing? No, not yet. So we probably still have the jump shot, but it's not gonna be as long as it was last time. It's gonna take a little bit. How did they get there? Okay, now we probably can start firing on them. Just gonna check that. Yes, we can. Well, but unfortunately we're gonna have to do that on the next episode because we've run out of time for this one. So, if you enjoyed this cliffhanger here, then please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.